Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last video I did was about 4 months ago, and that was the Tilo edible candies I did. So that was that a long time ago. So now I'm here with a whole new video, and this one is gonna be a very touchy one for me. So 2020 has I put a wait, let me go. I've been putting a smile on my face the best I can, but 2020 was a really hard year. My dad went to the hospital, not for COVID, but he went to the hospital because my dad's diabetic. My dad's been diabetic, was diabetic for 28 years, as long as I've been here. And so my dad was diabetic for 38 years. My dad went to the hospital for because his sugar was too, I think, high or too low, and that was at the end of February 2000. I think that was the last time I believe I got to see. I think I got to see my dad. I think that was the last time I got to see him. Yes, because they had to make the decision with me. I had to make the decision too with him and my mom to amputate some toes. We were there with the doctor with him in his room. That's why he made that decision. We made the decision. They're gonna only cut these three these three toes, but he decided to cut all toes. So my dad had a stubby like this, but a little bit smaller because this part of his foot got infected. So they had to cut some more off. And where he was staying at, the convalescent home he was staying at, because they were supposed to help him rehabilitate him, get him back on his feet, have him start walking. He had his boot for his foot. My dad got his toes amputated before my son's birthday, and that was in April 2020. And that was the hardest for him. My dad was on dialysis about a year already. Gonna be, I think, gonna be a year. Gonna go on 2 or 1 year. My dad was not on dialysis that long. His kidney function were very low because my dad did took a lot of Motrin pills, and so they fucked up his kidneys. So that was it for him for his kidneys. He had low function and low. His kidney function were not great, and so my dad's been in and out of the hospital since for a long time, but now the last year and a half has been bad. And to say that I was wishing my dad would be here a little bit more longer, but he didn't get to make it that long. And no, let me go a little bit more forward before I talk about the last time I saw my dad. So, and I get to see my dad again. And that was in June or July, one of those. I'm thinking June, because that's I remember was June. We were going over there because it was summertime. We went over there because he was in White Memorial Hospital. He was doing dialysis at DaVita, so they rushed him to White Memorial because his blood sugar dropped too low. So from there, they take care of him there. He was doing good. My mom talked to him that night. She said my dad sounded fine. My dad sounded perfect, good. But the nurse and the doctor decided to give my dad a fast action insulin. My dad's blood sugar was fine. It was no lower, no higher, no nothing. His blood sugar was perfectly good. But yeah, they gave him that and he went into a diabetic coma. My mom had called me at 8:30 in the morning saying, "Hey, your dad's in a diabetic coma." And she was crying. We don't know how long he's gonna be in it. My heart dropped. Don't get me wrong, you guys. My dad's been in the hospital so many times. He was a fighter. He went in 2017 in December. December 2017. He went in there for a blood sugar of 1,500. Yeah, he did. Doctors, nurses said my dad's supposed to be dead or in a diabetic coma. But my dad came out of that. But when I found out that he lost about 10 minutes of oxygen from his brain. And my aunt, his sister, told me that he died right there. I don't know how my dad came back. I mean, he came back from that. So now let's go more now to September. September rolled around. He went back to the hospital again because his sugar was too low. Back of my mind, always know my dad's gonna die through diabetes or something else. But I could say I was physical ready, but not mentally ready. But honestly, I was not both ready. So in September, I got to see my dad on my birthday. My dad had a brain aneurysm. I told myself, it's either going to get better, don't worry about it, it's going to go away. They're going to figure out how to take it out. And they gave him medicine to remove the brain aneurysm out of him. No. My dad was forgetting who we were. That's what hurted me the most. But he started forgetting everything when he was in War Memorial when they gave him the first diabetic coma. He forgot who we were. He woke up out of that one the next day. He was in a diabetic coma for 1 day. After my husband seen him, I seen him play this music. My mom saw him. Then my husband saw him last. My husband said he was trying to come out of the bed to go with him. And my husband go, come on, Cholo, we gotta go to the beach. Come on, Cholo, you gotta get better. And my son always tell him, come on, Paul, you gotta get better, you gotta be strong. He always tell my son, I will try. My dad had a bad heart too. They told my mom that in the beginning, and before he went to the first rehabilitation place, that was Rancho de los Amigos. The doctor told my mom, that was in February or in March, one of those two. They said that his heart was too weak, and we don't know how much longer he has to live due to the lysis doing too much for him, going through his heart and everything. So they don't know how much he had. I ignored it. I told myself, no, my dad will get out of this. He's strong. He's been a fighter his whole life. My dad, don't get my dad wrong. My dad fought with bats, knives, chains, bricks, rocks, 4x4s. My dad would tell you what he fought with. That's what my husband was calling him Cholo, because my dad was old school. And so now let's go to November. November 14th was the last day I talked to my dad. The last day I heard his voice. He told me he was tired. He always told me he was tired. I told him, Daddy, you know if you go, I'm gonna go right behind you. And he told me no, because I had to stay here with my demons. I gotta take care of them. It was the last time I told him to talk to him. I go, Daddy, I'll call you tomorrow to see how you're doing. He said, okay. But my tomorrow guy took it away. They found my dad unconscious and incoherent. They rushed him to the hospital. My mom was with him for the last 3 days. And this was around Thanksgiving week. They told my mom that my dad had only just 3 days to live from how the situation he is. He was still alive, but he was listening. And my mom couldn't see him no more, so I started going to see him after I saw him on Thanksgiving. And then after that, I was visiting him after. My mom couldn't see my dad on their anniversary, but they made it for. My mom said they weren't together. It felt like they were not together for 39 years. I go by that. My dad was still here. My dad hasn't passed yet, and it still counts. I know. So after that, every day I went to go see him, spend my hour, play my music. He was listening to me. I tell me, if you understand me, blink your eyes. He'll blink his eyes twice if he understands. And I tell him, move your fingers. If you understand me, he'll move his fingers. And I could say I was happy to see my dad do the things I was asking him to do. December 1st, December 2nd. I had to take my mask off because he didn't remember who I really was. He knows I'm but a girl that they call Natasha. Yeah. And I always take my mask off so he could see me, see my face. He knows I have no eyebrows. This is how my dad remembers me by. Like this natural. And he looked at me normal that day. Normal. Like his normal self. The hospital said never take pictures. I took my pictures. I have a lot of pictures of my dad that I don't let my kids see. I told him, he made a face today. What are you doing that for? I go, that is that for me to see how I could know how your progress is doing. I could know how you're getting. But they took him at 10 something to a new hospital because they were getting too many COVID patients there and they needed the room. So they took him to another hospital. They said it's a real good hospital, that people get well there. For me, it's like a hospital. They send people who are dying to go die, for them to kill them. That's how I feel in my heart. My dad did his first flatline there twice. The third time was he flatlined twice the same day at the same minute, 5 minutes apart from each other. That's what happened. He looked at me normal. My mom was telling me that he was trying to tell me goodbye. That's not what I felt. I felt my dad's gonna get better and stronger. He's gonna fight this fight, come out of it. December 8th, he did his third flatline. They called me and let me know my whole body. My son was in class still. My daughter was still in class. My whole body went numb. I couldn't function right. My brain, I couldn't think right. My brain was all over the place. I went totally numb. And I got sick. I got sick after that. I was still going to see him. And I was seeing him. I had mask on all over my face, so whatever little germ I had in me, I won't pass it to him. That was my concern, not to pass whatever I have, no germs, no nothing to him. But we had to be in gowns and gloves and I wear shield mask on. I can wear my stuffy nose, but I had no fever. I just had like just a when I get sick, I just have a runny nose and a cough. That's it. No, nothing. I was clean, just a little bug. So I started making visits to see him all the time there, every day. So I had to make a Zoom meeting with him. When I couldn't make it there, I talked to the nurses. The nurses had a phone connected to his room so I could talk to him on the phone. One nurse said he'll be moving his eyes to see where I'm at. And that's how I was able to go see him. He'll be moving his eyes to see, because he heard my voice. I know when he was looking because his eyes will be moving. And they said that it's just the muscle reaction. I was not. My dad was still there a little bit. My dad was dying slowly. I had to make the decision. Me and my mom made the decision to cut his dialysis out because that's what would make it flatline. It was the dialysis. I know. They said my dad would have 7 to 10 days to live. My dad lasted 11 days. The toxins in his body took over. His heart just automatically stopped by themselves on December 18th. I told my dad that I changed my channel. I can't think of the word, but I changed my channel from a makeup to weed. That was my dad's favorite thing to smoke, was weed. I told him that we had to do a video together so that we could talk when he first started smoking weed, the age he started smoking weed, and we never got to that point. I asked him questions in September or August. I was asking him, Daddy, what year did you start smoking weed? He told me, I think it was in the 70s or the 60s, around there. He was in middle school or high school he started. He doesn't really remember. He remembered he was 15 when he started. I'm like, I started at 15. He didn't mind me smoking. My mom didn't mind either, as long as she knew where I was at smoking it. And that's the only one that stuck with me. That's the only thing that stuck with him. As disease, they will call my dad a veteran. Because how long he's been smoking. My dad had not no small lungs. The doctor said my dad had these real long lungs. That's really abnormal for normal people lungs. I don't know if that's true, but my dad had some real long lungs. That's why my dad couldn't inhale a shitload of smoke. But that video never came. My dad had the most tolerance. He had not smoked since February of 2020. My dad took the longest tolerance break I never thought I'd seen in my life. And I told Daddy every time I used to go. Well, I did used to go see him too, when we used to pick him up from the license, when the bus didn't pick him up. So we had to go pick him up in his wheelchair to go take him back home to his convalescent home. That's the time we got to spend with him. Those times I got to see him. You could never be ready. You could say you're ready, but you won't. I I know one of these days something was gonna take my dad. I see my dad in the hospital when I was small. My mom said he was dying before I was born. And he was dying after I was born. My dad's always been a fighter. My husband told me I'm never gonna be the same. There's a lot of thoughts in my mind. For me, depression hits hard. I lost both of my dad's parents in 2000. I lost my grandma, my mom's mom, in 2003. I had no grandparents. I lost everybody. I just had my mom, my dad, and my boyfriend, my aunts and my uncles. That's it. But I do have my dad. If you guys are not like, oh, she's crazy or she's weird. But my dad always made this request, always told me I want to be cremated. Don't bury me. Just cremate me. So I do have my dad. I'm going to show you guys my dad. Here he is. This is my father. He's in this little box right here. He has his screws, and I'll take this off, remove the screws and take this off, and I'm able to direct see him. He has his bandana, his green bandana he always wears. So before my son interrupted me, so yeah, I open these screws up and I take this out. So he has up his green bandana he always weared. He has a black gelato joining their pre-roll in here for him. And he has, what else he has? A flyer my mom gave them. It's wrapped up in a Ziploc bag so it won't make a mess in there. And I look at my dad's ashes. I look at him. For me, that's why I told my mom. Anyway, this is what I had engraved on top for him. That's what I had engraved on top. My dad was 66 years old when he passed. Before Christmas. Christmas, New Year's, and Halloween, and birthdays, and 4th of July. And I could say my dad liked the holidays. He loved to decorate for Halloween. He loved to decorate for Christmas. But it's never gonna be the same. For me, like I was saying, for me, it felt like my dad. I have my dad's last picture. They say never take a picture of the dead. I took my dad's last picture. For me, I know my dad passed, but for me, it felt like someone came in like my dad. A double that looks like my dad, had the same foot like my dad, had the same hands like my dad. Me and my dad had the same hands. Everything exactly like my dad. Came in, took his spot, and he walked away. My mom said that's how I'm coping. I have not accepted he left. But truthfully, I haven't. I know one of these days I'm gonna flip out. I'm gonna have the most nervous breakdown in the world. But if you're a weed head, and if you ever smoke with your parents, let me know down below, because I have. Smoking with my mom and dad was a crazy experience, especially smoking with my dad was a crazy experience for me. It's a hell of an experience. That's a moment I'm never gonna forget. But that was the first man I ever did love. I just miss hearing his voice. It's really been a month. I miss his voice. Fucking neighbors. My husband did this for me, for him. If you know what this dude is from, let me know. And his name was Raymond, but he goes short for Ray. My dad goes for short for Ray too. Oh, see, I'll insert a picture of my dad. My dad was the person who I love. I still love. To be honest, I haven't came to terms with him passing yet. I know he's never gonna come back. He can't come back. He's in here. If I could just go back in time and help him, the still can't make no difference anyways. He'll be the same. See, I could insert his little clips I did at his the services I did for him this month. It was the hardest moment for me to stand up there and talk about my dad and the memories I have of him. I do have one other brother, but he's a stepbrother. But that's a whole nother story. Oh, it's cool or whatever, but I'm gonna continue what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep pushing with what I can push. I'm gonna be. I don't know what to do anymore with my life. I have 2 kids. I'm gonna have a teenager in April. I'm gonna have a 6-year-old in April. My dad was an April baby too, just like the kids. All 3 of them are Aries. I'm in that services. I got literally totally hammered. I couldn't walk. I threw up everything. Well, I just threw up whatever I ate at my cousin's house. I was literally gone. Gone. I was out. And I threw up everything. My husband wet me to cool me down. My hair was wet. He was pulling my hair back and I have a bun. And he was keep on pulling my hair back. But I got totally smashed on my dad's. I needed my dad's funeral services, memorial services. He had a funeral. So yeah, I really want to do that video with my dad, but it never happened. I don't know what to do. I still love makeup, love makeup. I still do my vaping once in a while, but I kept clean too. I didn't want to smoke or nothing. Because I don't want to get the phone call and I'm up in the clouds and then they tell me my dad's passed and my husband said, no, you might flip out more. You might have a heart attack. So I still sober until that my dad's services. I got totally smashed. I even put a White Claw inside my freezer because I want to drink one at least to drop my nerves. But so they told me like, nah, stop, wait, take it out. I think my dad was telling me to take it out. You're not ready yet. Took it out. I listened to my conscience, took it out, put it away again. And put it back in the pantry. Where some of my kids won't touch. My daughter knows to touch them. I said not to touch none of that stuff that we have. Yeah, but he passed away. I know he listens to me. Take it from me. You're never gonna be the same. Your life's not gonna be the same. How you feel inside never gonna be the same. I'm coping with depression a very hard way. So I'm thinking of becoming a bartender now. I'm thinking of becoming that. I don't know what to do with my life anymore. Maybe become all three, or maybe become two. Continue my beauty, and then bartender on the side. What do you think, you guys? Start trying some mixed drinks on here too. But I'll let you guys go for now. I gotta motivate myself to do things. So I'll see you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully not too long from now. But I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm gonna say like I always say at my weed ones. Stay high up in the clouds and stay on cloud 9. I think something like that, remember? Be higher than the astronauts. And like that. And my makeup one. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, you guys. So, I don't know what to do with my life. Drop comments below what you want to see. I feel like making, recreating my green eye look I did for New Year's for my dad. Okay, my dad loved green. That was his most favorite color. Green. So, you guys, I will see you guys in the next one. And like my dad said, I'll see you guys later. Bye.